Eastern Conference Final, Game 3. And a little bit of a different feeling today because this is a post-commentary. So, bit of a strange one. This was supposed to go up yesterday. I am literally recording this the day that this should be uploaded. So, yeah, I went to go edit this video, and there was no commentary for whatever reason. Maybe I just forgot to save it for this particular game. There is commentary for the remaining games in this series that was done as it was recorded live, but not for this game. So I'm doing a post-com. I just do want to make that clear and make it clear why an episode did not go up, at least yesterday, if this episode goes out today on this Wednesday evening. It's afternoon at this point in the day, but it will be the evening by the time it goes live. I got a lot of stuff on my plate, but let's focus on this game. It's game 2. We had a really good, exciting game 1. And if you didn't catch it, just watch the episode. It went to double, well, it did not go to double OT. It almost went to double overtime. And a thriller. The Leafs, wow. Who shot that? Mike Green just shot the puck into Braden Holtby. He literally shot the puck to Braden Holtby. I'm sure I had a freak out about that in the live comm. I did record a live commentary for this game when it was done. I just did not apparently save it, I guess. I cannot find one for the life of me. I cannot find one on the hard drive, so I'm calling the game in post, which is better than not having the gameplay, the actual video part of the gameplay available, because there's no way I could get that back. I can always do a post commentary, so this is not the worst of scenarios for this series. We had 2 games in the regular season that I did record, and I don't know what happened to them. I couldn't find them. I would like to elaborate a little bit on that, so but I do want to focus on this game before I start elaborating, as the Leafs look to break the puck out. It's always better to at least have some commentary on the video than none at all. But I will elaborate now. So I did have 2 games in the regular season. I think one of them was against Los Angeles, and I don't remember what the other one was. There were 2. Oh, Ottawa. It was just after the All-Star break. Both of those games are missing just simply because I don't know what happened to the video file. I really don't know what happened to them. Something glitched out, but I definitely had to have hit record before I went into playing those games. We are having a bit of a struggle at the moment. The game trying to get the puck into the attacking end of the ice. Carlson on his wing. Wide open is Alex Ovechkin. Of course, playing like the phenomenal star that he is for the Washington Capitals in the postseason up to this point. I believe he and JVR for the Toronto Maple Leafs are at the top of the league for the lead in goals scored at this point in the postseason, if I remember correctly. As we clear it all the way down, shy of an icing, played by Clark MacArthur, and then handed off to Dion Phaneuf, who escapes the zone with Brule or Brule. I'm not sure the correct pronunciation on that last name, but he has it again at center. Skates it in wide, chased down by Ovechkin and by John Carlson into the corner, out of the corner. MacArthur to his D. Phaneuf, it scores! It's Van Riemsdyk, JVR on a deflection. There it is, first goal of the game. We talked about him just a moment ago. 8th goal of the postseason. That might lead the entire NHL. Of course, we're in the conference final now, so there's just 4 teams remaining in the NHL. But a very nifty deflection with the blade of the stick, and then goes 5-hole on the Holtmeister. I did just call him the Holtmeister. And Braden Holtby had been phenomenal through this run in the postseason. And in previous episodes, I did have discussions about the importance of using 2 goaltenders. And we have needed both of our goaltenders as we see Braden Holtby fighting off more shots, more from the point. One that clangs off the post from McClement, and the puck is still not out of the Capital zone. Unbelievable. A frantic attempt at a clear by Perreault. A struggling attempt to skate it over the blue line by Ribeiro. And the Leafs just force it back. Oh, we got a fight. We got a Tilly going on. Ribeiro having some words with Kulemin. I believe that is. No, yes, it is. Nikolai Kulemin throwing hands with Ribeiro, and it looks like Ribeiro is going to get the best of Kuhlman in this one. Not sure what brought all that on. I think just a little frustration on the side of Ribeiro and the Capitals, just trying to spark a little bit of energy. Wake up, get your head in the game. This is Game 2 of the conference final. You see the shot total up there, 8-1 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Puck has got to get going into the attacking zone, and even when we had a chance after losing that face-off, the puck still goes out of play, and we will do it again in the neutral zone. Face-off, won by the Leafs, and the Leafs just failing to dump the puck in. A simple play like a dump in. It's just not working. This one does get in on the opposite corner now. Played by Green, kicked along that dasher, and both players fall hard to the ice on the body check delivered by Alex Ovechkin. He skates it up, shoots, scores! Alexander Ovechkin, and there you go. We got a duel in this game. Will we have a duel of the top goal scorers in the league? There it is. Well, there's your leading goal scorer, surely, with 11 in the NHL. That's his 11th marker that has found the back of the net. James Reimer. Did he stand a chance on that? And does James Van Riemsdyk stand a chance at maybe potentially winning the Conn Smythe Trophy should the Leafs go that far in this playoff run? We've got a good duel between the top goal scorers in the league in this entire series, not just for this game. A best-of-7 contest here. It was important to take the first game at home, where we should have won it in regulation. But the Leafs, they did push overtime. That was a scary game because just winning the first game in a series is so important, let alone having a chance to win it in regulation. And then the Leafs tie it. I believe like 2 seconds was left on the clock when they tied game 1 to force overtime. That was a dangerous play by Holtby. And then this will probably become an icing. What an awkward play. I don't even know what negated icing on that. I think it was Reimer that negated the icing, and then it was Gunnarsson that played it quickly thereafter in a mad, frantic play beside the Leafs net. But could you imagine, going back to my discussion on Game 1, could you imagine we allowed the Leafs tie it and then they took it in overtime? That would have been heartbreaking for us to lose Game 1. But we do have the lead in the series, entering this second game and last game before we go up north to Toronto to play Games 3 and Games 4. So you're not really in trouble until you've lost on home ice. So that's good news for the Leafs. And so far in this series, this is just the second game, but we haven't lost on home ice yet in the series as well. Nearly did, though, in Game 1. Now we've got Dmitry Orlov, who was a call-up earlier in the season due to injuries. And I just decided, let's just play him and see how well we can use him in the lineup. And he was actually of great use in the lineup, so I kept him in here when we got healthy. Remember, I had all kinds of problems with Tom Poti, so we basically scratched Tom Poti for the duration of the playoffs, and Orlov had been more than serviceable. Only scored, I think, 2 or 3 goals in the regular season, but he was well deserving of more than that. As we set it up from the half wall, Kumiski, a failed shot just to try and get it back in. He's working with Wolski, a couple of slide angles there, and is grabbed out of the air by James Reimer. It's always so awkward, honestly, doing a post commentary for a game, because I just can never give you the same feel that I have when I'm playing it live. It's just not the same. I can react in real time. Now, I can, of course, it's been months now since this was recorded, so it's kind of like watching it for the first time all over again for me. So it's kind of fun in that regard, and I am still reacting to what's going on, but it's not the same as when I'm actually playing the game. I'm just sitting here watching back the gameplay that I already recorded several months prior, and I don't even know if that went on net or if it missed the net. It was Troy Brower's shot. That one is snagged by Reimer. It was shot by Alsner from the point. And 36.1 to go in the first period. Been a decent contest so far through one period of play. And I think, honestly, we're lucky to not be trailing as we near the intermission frame of the game, the first intermission of the game, that is. I would take that. I'd take a 1-1 tie considering how we played in that first period. Were it not for Alexander Ovechkin, we might be trailing 1-0. Coming into the second period of play. This is the second period now. And a clean slate as far as I'm concerned. We had 9 shots actually. We ended up with 9 shots on the Maple Leafs netminder in the first period of play, which is a bit of a surprise for me. Start the second period with what was basically a breakaway for all intents and purposes. We are just being given the business by this first line with Phil Kessel on it for the Maple Leafs. He is working that corner. It pops out. Carlson just trying to help the Capitals escape the zone. He goes after Phil. They don't like it. Oh, man. Oh, you don't mess with John Carlson. Oh, you don't mess with Phil Kessel. Kessel puts Carlson down twice. Oh, man. I think that was just Carlson standing up for Backstrom, I think that was. Or was that really? Was that Bozak that sat down Backstrom? I thought that was Phil Kessel. Either way, things got very heated. Both in that corner during play and then after the whistle had blown, things got even more heated between Kessel and Carlson. Backdoor Brule. Oh, man. I'm going to just use Brule as the pronunciation unless I'm incorrect. And now it is played back at center by Jake Gardner. Jake the Snake, and it is lost after we had briefly held possession there. MacArthur advances it for the Leafs. He's going to run into Carl Alzner. Yes, Alzner defending that blue line strongly. Self-pass by Wolski. The cutback move. Oh, a very bad pass intended for his teammate in the cross corner down there on the opposite side of the rink. It is now flipped back in. Schultz kicks it with a skate. Alzner helps out his D partner, and it is on the wing. A bit of a slightly dangerous pass there for Wolski. And the second line for the Capitals. Down low, it's going to be off the skate of Ribeiro. Second line trying to get it going in the attacking zone off the stick of Wolski. What a move by Lupul, and he snipes it. Posting in? I'm pretty sure posting in, definitely over the shoulder of Braden Holtby. What a nifty move by the AI player. Joffrey Lupul is really good in this game. Oh, that might be barred out. I can't tell. I need one more look at it in slow motion. It looks like it kind of hits the corner where the post and the crossbar come together. But it was not just the shot. It was the D. Just all around great play. Tip of the cap to the AI, and we trail once again in the game. 2-1 this time. Another dump in cross corner. Tough little retrieval, but Carlson handles it well. I almost said they're different name. What a flip play. Oh, not quite able to get to that was Ovechkin. Chimera made a good play coming back, but the Leafs will maintain possession. Good pressure on the forecheck. Ovechkin, and he basically just nudges it into James Reimer, and he's trying to shoot it in frustration after the whistle. Easy to get frustrated in games like this. We are on the maximum difficulty with some adjusted sliders, and we are at the fastest game speed that is possible in this game. So maxed out game speed, maxed out base difficulty. And someone asked a question as well and left it in the comment section, and I will answer it here just in case anyone is curious. We're on 10-minute periods. So that roughly ends up being a 30-minute episode, if you think about it. It takes 10 minutes to play a single period, essentially. It basically takes 10 minutes or thereabouts to play one period in this game at a 10-minute period game speed. So it is authentic. It is true to what the game says. And, oh, they almost connected on that neat little backdoor play. That would have been Phil Kessel on the other side. So it does work out. 3 periods, roughly a 30-minute episode. I think that's a pretty good amount of game to digest in one sitting. It was just a personal decision that I went for. Also, on 10-minute game, how can I explain? On 10-minute periods, oh, we had a net. We had wide open look for Chimera, and it was stolen by James Reimer. I think Reimer keeps it out on that one. Obviously, very frustrating in a game that we're trailing. We're going to give up a breakaway. Brule this time. Big blocker save by Braden Holtby. I cannot state the importance of a save like that in a time like this, in a game like this. And that will be covered by Reimer. We'll go back to the discussion I was having a moment ago. The stats are more realistic on 10-minute periods as well. I tend to get pretty good stats, but this is the chance. We were way too late with it. If we shot it right away, we would have had it. But it was that brief hesitation. And a lot of that isn't so much necessarily that I hesitated with my input. It's that I just couldn't get my input in fast enough to react quickly enough to that play. We would have potentially had a goal, but we will never know, unfortunately. And the Leafs forced to dump in again. We do this a lot to the Maple Leafs. We are defending the blue line strongly, and we just flip it back out as well, just playing catch, basically, between the two teams, the defensemen, and then our forwards or defense playing catch with each other. Basically, what's weird about this game is you expect the defensemen to be the first ones going back to the puck, and they're supposed to be, but usually it's a forward, a wing or a center, it doesn't matter, is usually the first guy for my team getting back to a puck on a dump in. I don't know why the game is like that, but it is something that I certainly do notice, and it's slightly annoying because you'd rather, if your wing comes back to get it, you'd rather your winger be set up high in the zone near the board to help the breakout when the defenseman retrieves it. And then with the center, you'd rather he kind of come back and hang a little bit down low in the lower part of the face-off circle to help the breakout as well as become an option defensively should you turn the puck over. As we hammer a slap shot on Brooks Lake. Hasn't been heard of much in this playoffs, but we know what Brooks Lake is capable of doing. We saw it a lot, especially short-handed in the regular season. That strong short-handed unit in the regular season was not as powerful and not as needed as it was in the regular season. Now Gunnarsson ahead to Brule, who I think had a breakaway not that long ago. We have a rush chance with Carl Alsner, but that went all of nowhere. And it will be played back by Schultz, awkwardly banked off the boards, almost back to his own goaltender. We already saw Mike Green shoot on his own goaltender. Do we have an agenda today or something? Washington, watch out. Get the puck out of the zone. A failed rim around to get the puck out. We just look like we're slow. Still finding our legs as we dump it in, which we rarely have had to do. Don't want to dump it in unless I am forced to. That tends to be my strategy, my approach to the game, is don't want to dump it in if I don't have to. That's a wild deflection. Lupul back on. Leafs are firing it from everywhere and anywhere. We're just looking to find a breakout. What a spin move by Schultz between two defenders. Now doing that off the rush in the attacking end would have been something else. We have the puck back somehow. Ovechkin a wrap chance. Low to the ice, kept out by the pads of James Reimer. Missed pass will become an icing. We milk it. Definitely milked out that one for icing, but a good job by Green. Getting a much needed line change in and a face-off in the attacking zone. How did the two Leafs players, Phaneuf's on the ice, that's why. How did the two Leafs players not get the puck there? Ovechkin ends up with it and a sly chance on the wrap, but James Reimer seals the lower part of the ice away from the Great Eight. No goal. Still looking, still searching for that second goal of the game, a goal that we need to tie it right now. At the moment, at 2, there's one, it goes in. Well, there you go, Phil Kessel. He makes it 3-1. We need 2 goals to tie it now. Did this go 5-0? That's just the 4th of the postseason for number 81, Phil Kessel. What a move. AI is out here pulling moves off for the Toronto Maple Leafs, making our defensemen look goofy as hell. 5-0. Great shot by Phil Kessel. Just a stupendous goal scorer. He just had a great release in his day. And he has one in this game, like I said, just the 4th of the playoffs to this point. But an important one. Puts the Leafs up by 2 goals. They just keep throwing pucks on. Shortly in the live comm, I was at this point getting extremely frustrated. That's probably the benefit of the post commentary, is you don't have to see me, or rather hear me, air out my frustrations as I am playing this live. It's very easy to get frustrated playing on the higher difficulties against the AIs, especially when your team that you are in control of doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot of anything that you need them to do. We are just slow, we're sloppy through the middle of the ice. Breakout looks incomplete. And that'll be the end of the second period. Definitely ending it with a lot of frustration. A face wash from Johansson. I don't know who the recipient of said face wash is, but yeah, it's a bad game. It's time to clean it up. We got to clean it up. Third period of play. Last shot at it. Last 20 minutes to at least get the game even on the scoreboard. We're trying to get even in terms of fights, but we're not even then. We're not even drawing a bunch of the Leafs players into fights when we're trying. We have another missed pass as a result of miscommunication, and we open the period with an icing and a D-zone face-off for Nicholas Backstrom. And it's a tie-up. He loses it. It's back to the point, which is where the Leafs have been so dangerous. Those shots from outside, the perimeter-based shots, and we take a penalty. Interference? Yep, that's going to be interference. It's Mike Green. And the fans stop waving the towels immediately as they see Green skate over to the penalty box. You know, and the puck's there. It is there. It's in the general area. I'm going to make my argument for my team and for my player. I'm making my argument. But nonetheless, we got to kill off 2 minutes in penalties. And again, you just see that's been the story of the night. That seems to be the theme. Missed passes and miscommunication. Trying a little too hard. And I assure you that at this point in the game, I was feeling the pressure shorthanded that I had to start going for it. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're taking the puck to the Leafs. We're taking it to the attack while killing a penalty. Because I must have felt at this point we had no other choice. We have a great body check by Carl Alsner and a move by Jason Chimera. A windmill move. Oh, could you imagine if that was a goal? That would have been one of the highlights of the postseason. Great play by Chimera, doing it all on his own. I don't expect my players to do it all on their own, but Chimera felt he had to take it all into his own hands. And there's another save. We've made Braden Holtby have to do way too much work in this game. We are, of course, naturally killing a penalty, so you're probably going to see more shots while killing a penalty. But the 2-minute minor is over. It is expired for the Toronto Maple Leafs. No doing on that power play, I guess. That's not really the phrase I was looking for, but it's going to have to work. It is Green. After the penalty is expired from his mistake that he made down there in the corner about 2 minutes ago in the game. There's a pull-up move. Score, and it is... I don't know who this is. It's Brule, isn't it? Number 12. I don't know who that is. It is. It's Brule. Again, it could be Brule, but Brule rolls off the tongue so much better. But it's probably Brule. Whatever. Number 12 for the Leafs scores. Leafs pad on to their lead, and at this point, definitely getting frustrated with our team because you can feel it in the air. I mean, look at the way I'm controlling Brooks Light back there in the background. I was trying to go for stick lifts on players that didn't even have the puck. And that one is just easily rejected aside by Reimer. A slap shot that was brought on off the rush by Wolski. And now I can feel my voice definitely starting to struggle in this post-commentary. As I'm not going to give myself much of a break while doing these. But then again, you know, if you're calling a real game, you rarely do get that much of a break. What I need is a color commentator. That's what I need. I need color while I'm doing play-by-play. Or whatever the hell this is that I'm doing. Because it hasn't been a whole lot of play-by-play tonight. But we'll try to do more play-by-play as we wind down this third period of play. Definitely feeling the frustration, as I mentioned, because it's 3 goals you got to score now on James Reimer, who has looked unbeatable. What a diving play. Mike Green. So he's trying to go from 0 to hero in this game. Took the penalty in this period and then made a great play coming back on the back check. Yeah, you can just see it. You can see it in the gameplay. The struggle to just make a simple, basic breakout play. It's just not happening. And then in the attacking zone, it's not happening even more. Green. Blocker to side. That's been the whole game. That has been the whole game right there. James Reimer, blocker save. We just keep shooting there. Just tantalizing. It's tempting, isn't it? You want to beat the goaltender on the area that he has been the strongest in this game. I don't know where was the Ovechkin goal scored on? It was over the glove hand, was it not? Off the rush, slap shot. Maybe we need to do that. Ovechkin one-timer. Looked like it was 5-hole. That's not working. It is a game of frustration. It really can be in the playoffs. And you can get in your own head. Breakaway chance for Ovechkin. He had Phaneuf out for lunch. But James Reimer takes Ovechkin out to dinner on that save? I don't know. I don't know if you would call that taking him out to dinner. He definitely showed him up. We'll just put it that way. There's a pass back to the neutral zone. Feet are not moving for these players. Of course, they're coming off line changes. Another dumb deke, which I tend to get really obsessed with doing dumb dekes, especially when the offense just is not flowing. And there's a pullback move. Johansson just taking a simple slap shot on Reimer. Wolski gets body slammed into another Galaxy. Not quite, that's an exaggeration, but a big hit nonetheless, and a turnover for the Leafs. They come the other way with it. Franzen, a dump in. Just inside the blue line. Holtby plays it pretty calmly, if you ask me. Through center. Wolski carries the rush, drop pass for Like, and that's blocked, of course. It would be. Spin around, dump pass by Johansson down low, looking for Wolski. Rejected by Reimer, so the glove side is looking just as strong as the blocker side is. Man, I really wish I knew what was going on at the time of the live commentary that was done when this was recorded, because I'd like to know, honestly, what the hell was going through my brain at that point. And you can see I'm not covering the puck. I'm not taking face-offs, because I just want to get the puck going in the other direction as soon as possible. Not that it really matters. There's already 6 minutes left in regulation, so you can kind of tell it looks like we might be losing this one. But never say never, because 3 goals in 5.5 minutes is still possible in this game, but not looking very likely the way that we're playing and the way James Reimer is playing. We do have an offensive zone faceoff here. Backstrom wins it on the forehand. Ovechkin doesn't even hit the net. Very hard to score when you miss the net like that, especially your stud superstar. Potentially could have scored 60 goals in the regular season. When that guy is missing, it just makes it even more frustrating. And Ovechkin, I'm confident, had he not missed the how many games did he miss? Like 20? I thought he missed like 24 plus games in the regular season. That one rifled wide as well. Something is off with Alex Ovechkin. As you can tell, yep, definitely not going to win this game. Ovechkin wide of the net again. He had 3 misses in a row. Not often you see that. That one doesn't even get a chance to miss because we fanned on it. It went back to center. Carlson trying to carry the load himself across. Ovechkin can't even get a stick on it. On the backdoor play, Cap's just trying to throw everything we can at James Reimer. But it matters not what we do. You can throw the whole kitchen sink at him. And what a goal. Joffrey Lupul again. I didn't even look at the replay. That's just frustration. If I skip the replay, you can tell I am not having a good time. I try not to skip replays for both teams on goals that are scored. But when it's just not your night, it is just not your night. I just wanted to get out of game 2 as fast as possible. So, obviously, we dropped game 2. Got to go on the road and at least take one on the road at a minimum now. You cannot lose both games on the road in Toronto, having split the series at home. And now you think about after the way we've lost and the way we played this game, the way we're going to lose this game. Winning game 1 was even more important now, if you put it in that context, because a loss in both games on home ice would be disastrous. Disastrous for our chances in this series. It's enough from an odd angle, from a very sharp angle. Saved by Holtby. Can't pin this one on the goaltender. It's not the goaltender's fault in this one. We should have defended better off the rush, but we should have gotten some offense. It doesn't matter. You get 1 goal. That's the support you get Braden Holtby. You cannot expect to win this game. Erad has had enough of it. He's just throwing whatever he can at the lead. I'm surprised there's not a penalty on this play. He's just throwing whack after whack after whack. There's probably a broken wrist in there somewhere. And we will carry our frustrations on the road to the Air Canada Centre in Toronto in Game 3. And, of course, Game 4 will be played there. Ovechkin starts stuff after the whistle. Big fight coming up. Well, you know, when Ovechkin's willing to get into it, this is just trying to carry energy into the next game. That's all this is we fight this poor Brule kid. Has to fight this raging Russian bear in Alex Ovechkin. You never stood a chance, did you? Stick taps for stepping up for that one and engaging in a fight with Alex Ovechkin, though. You were never going to win that. So we lose it, but the show goes on. series is not over just because we lost this game in frustrating fashion. We got to get to James Reimer more than we did, obviously, in this one.